All still getting there. I can see one, two, the Jeep one coming around as well. She'll put it down, but pick it up.
Hi everyone, this is John McLeod from Macbet. Just going over the last weekend's what we did and what the market, how the market played, and pretty much a few black bookers and how this track's actually played. Pretty difficult day for me. Our best bet won, but and we had a nice result on that. It was around about the 290 in the morning, 290, 280, and it pretty much got into around odds on at one stage and bounced back a little bit to around the $2 mark in Scalapini. But I sort of bet along on a few other races and got it wrong, so finished up having a small loss, but it could have been quite good after Scalapini. The track completely bamboozled me. Just got a few things in from Shane Baker from Punting Form, and he's sort of of the opinion that the inside part was no good, and it just got better and better as it went out. I was exactly the same as that on the day, but more when we've looked at it and how we do it, we've got it fairly even from about 1 to 5 lane, 1 to 6 lane, and then that 7 and out lane was a bit superior. So I don't know whether that was just because of the wind, because the wind was into their face behind them down the back straight, so they're going to run some sectionals early, or it's going to look like they've gone faster than what they actually did, and in the straight it's into their face, so the sectional is going to look poor. Now a lot of horses with a bit of cover back in the field and then peeling out, if they weren't exposed too quickly, they went good. So a lot of the horses coming out wide, that might have been the reason. So it's a very, very difficult day. I'll be using these figures out of this meeting a bit cautiously. That's how I'm going to be playing it. So getting on to race 1, you can see we had a half a unit on Miss Shanty. It was mainly because it was just thrown in at the weights, and even though the pace was slow, you can see our map here, we had no speed on. It's going to get back in the field. It was just a worry for us. So I think I had a very small bet on Miss Shanty. It was disappointing, if anything. It was first on the scene. It may have been exposed, like I was saying before, horses out wide that were exposed too early, were vulnerable to horses just coming off their back, and this is what actually happened with Miss Shanty, and the winner, who was it, Picaro, just was able to peel off its back and get it down. They came for horses like Open Road, which I couldn't have on our figures. We had it $13 and it came into about $5.50. Vance Warning, we couldn't have it. We had it quite big. Picaro, the winner, we had it around about the market price, but I didn't really want to get involved here too much, so we sort of got off to a small loss. The next race. This race I was totally concerned with Alaskan Sun because it was coming off such quite a big run at the Gold Coast when it was sat wide and made a long run after missing the kick, but the fence was definitely no good that day. So it was a matter of, do you give it anything or do you just let it play as it stood? I gave it some in the morning and I got it fairly short, and I was happy to be on it. But the more I thought about it, I thought, the market's not there. This bloke's John Smurden, he's very cagey sort of thing, and when the money's for him, it'll go good, and when there's no money, you just got to be very careful. There wasn't much money for it, so I sort of put it out to mark. I kept it under market just to be on it, and I didn't really play too hard in this race at all. Trevelyan, I was concerned with it. I wanted to have it right in the market. I forced it to get to about $3.80. I was happy to eventually bet against it, just because I thought I've given it every possible that I can give it, and I can only get it at that price. Reckless Choice was a horse that I never looked like getting on, but it bounced out on Betfair. It got out to about 460 sort of thing, so it was a horse that really got out to the right odds. we had it about $4, so the 460 wasn't, was in the realms of betting here. So I saved on the thing. I was on Alaskan Summer, closed my eyes with it, and I backed. I saved on the winner, Reckless Choice, when it got out so far. The next race, well, you can see that we had half a unit on Alaskan Sun because in the morning I was still keen on it. I just wanted to push with the market with that trainer, and it didn't come. This next race, we didn't do anything as far as the market goes. We were wrong with Smug Satisfaction. It came down the right part of the track and it beat a bunch of walkers. This is no good, this race. So I won't be putting too much emphasis on this race. Smug Satisfaction, it just probably went 4 or 5, oh not 4 or 5, but 3 to 4 lengths better than it's ever gone before. So it's either turned the corner or it's a bit in and out, this horse. So I'm just sitting on the fence, especially with this type of race, how it was an ordinary race. Tycoon Street, we had it fairly short, but it was going to get back in the field. Didn't know what to think about that. We didn't play at all in that race, I don't think. Oh, we had a small bit on each way clockwise. That's what we did, because I thought it's going to get the perfect run in behind him. And he sort of got held up a little bit, but geez, he's only a little horse. When I see him in the yard, it was very concerning, and he didn't do much at all. He's a horse to back off completely. That's what I've done with him. Next one, Scalapini. We're keen on this race. Couple of horses to follow out of this race is Scalapini and the Candyman. Candyman went fantastic for a 1200 metre horse, or 1200 metre race. Coming off a 3200 metre race is unbelievable. He went really good. It's a matter of whether if you put him into another 1200 or 1350 metre race and then back in third run, that's going to be his go when he steps him up to about 1800. I think you're going to really see the best of this horse. He's come back good. Scalapini went really good. They didn't go fast at all in this race. They went below par from memory, and that was with the wind at their back. So they really should be running above par or better than par. In that first sectional with the wind behind their back, and they went really slow in this race. So horses like Desert Digby gave a really good kick, which you expected the way that it went, and Scalapini had to make up about 3 lengths on Desert Digby through a pretty good sectional. So it was a tough effort by Scalapini, but it was a good effort by Candyman as well. This next race, we were all over Lady Appleton. Now, we didn't put too much on it. We only got over half a unit, but I did back it. I was concerned at a strong 1400, but just the way the race was run, they went helter-skelter. You can see we gave it an average speed. So, and what it went was probably around, I think they went around 6 to 8 lengths above speed with the wind behind them. So it might be around about the 4 to 5 lengths fast. So they've gone quick still, and horses like the winner Prophet, geez, it was a good win. It was 3 wide. Down the side of the track, he was having to work with the speed against him. He was working into it, and then had the audacity just to put in again and then hold off. Admittedly, Epicurus is only a maiden, but it was getting away from Epicurus at the finish. It was just a really solid effort. This horse, if it gets a nice run just parked in behind him in a mile race or something like that, it'll just be winning. It's just a nice horse. I wouldn't be surprised if someone tries to get it or take it to Hong Kong and buy it. So it's one to follow for sure. As I said, Lady Appleton was up on the speed and they went 100 mile an hour, so it couldn't possibly win. Baby Boom was a bit disappointing. Grand Zoo was disappointing. I was a little bit concerned about its run at Caloundra, that it didn't put away a field that was pretty ordinary. But I thought it was, on its trials prior, I thought it had a bit of upside, this horse, and it just didn't show it. So I was a bit wrong with that. And the market blew like the wind. It was in around the 320 and got out big time at the death. The money came for Profit. There was good money for it, so that's even a better guide that the stable thought it made some really good improvement off that first up run. Then we went over to race 6. Santa Rose, just a good win. You know, she's flying, this horse. Just ran the good sectionals. I don't think they went that fast in front, especially with the wind behind them, like I was saying, and it was able to chase down the leaders who got away, you know, with okay sectionals early, especially with the wind behind their back. So they fought on good, the leaders. They fought on what you would expect, the way how they had it, and that made it hard for horses like Sienna Rose and a horse like Rise to Fame. It went really good. It went nearly as good as Sienna Rose, if not better. And like at the coast, you know, we got lost at Gold Coast. The previous was all right. I just can't remember where that was, but its runs have been okay, and it's proven it again. The only problem is it gets back in the field, this horse, you know, a lot as well as Sienna Rose. So you're always looking for a bit of speed, and maybe Eagle Farm or Caloundra, you've got to wait for those horses. We thought Elixir had a nice chance in this race. We thought it'd get a lovely run. Everything fell into its hands, loomed up, got down the leaders, but then couldn't hold off Sienna Rose. So that was, you know, we had a chance there, especially around about the $9 in the morning. Dreamtime, it was short enough, but it went all right. Sat 3 wide the trip and went good. We had it a lot longer than the market, even though we backed it the previous start. But we were a little bit wrong with that because it did go quite good. It didn't deserve the 260, but it didn't race like a $6 shot either. So it was probably in the middle of there. The next race, race 7, we thought Lifesaver had a chance. At this stage, I was thinking the fence was no good at all, and I wanted horses coming out wide. Now, we speared everyone in the audio into Last Scoper. We thought Byrne would be able to, these would go quick and he'd come out and go around them. He went to the fence, and you know, I was sick in the run, and he just loomed and he just didn't go on with it. I was really, you know, shaking my head at Byrne on the day, but now that we look back at this, and I'm sort of saying that the fence wasn't as bad as I thought, but as I said, Shane's saying that he thinks the fence was a no-go zone, really. So it's a bit of a question mark. Horses like Lifesaver didn't go too bad. It just got held up at the wrong time, as it, you know, went okay. Takes time, just runs sectionals all the time. He gets back, he's just got a few problems. He's a bleeder, and they've just got to be very careful with this horse. Kill Sequence had its chance. Mains, as we said, told everyone in the morning, it had bar plates on, and you just don't want to play when they've got them on. Just, you know, stay away. And it blew from around, you know, $4.65 right out to $9.50, and would have been around $13, $12 on Betfair. I think it was really on the nose the whole way through the betting. So the last match was $11 with Betfair, so it was on the chart. They were on the charge with it. The next race, race 8. I thought Aquavit, I was trying to give it a chance because Stuart said that they were going to ride this quieter than it did the other day. They was told the stewards they were going forward, and it did, and it just punctured. Thought it would go better, ridden quiet. Just went fair, you know, if that. Just didn't do much. I was happy to play in this race. I was very keen to bet against Magnified, and you can see we had it $16. It's gone okay, definitely. I only got beaten about a length, and so we've been wrong, but right. Kubis, you know, I was dirty on myself for not saving on it. I wasn't looking to back it, and I didn't think the price was there, and it was. I just don't know what price Betfair got out to. It was out to, yeah, last match was just over $10, so, you know, I should have had it up. I only had about 5 horses up there looking at them, and I missed this one, so it was a bad blue. We wanted to bet against Tester Shadow. We were betting against New Tipperary. Merendi, we were happy to be on it. It was disappointing. It was there at the right time. We were on Fit for Purpose. You know, it got back and ran on. I think it ran 3rd or 4th here. It ran 4th. Ruling Dynasty, we thought it had a nice chance at $31, and halfway down the straight it looked the winner, and it just died in its run. It's going to take some improvement out of this run for sure and certain. And we were on Aquavit, which was well backed. It shortened up, and then it bounced back a bit, but just solid money for it the whole time. So they were we were wrong when we lost on that race, and we shouldn't have. It was just a bad play. We stuffed that up. The next race, race 9, we bet up on Male Escort. We thought it had a really nice chance. You can see where I had it. I had it just off the speed, with a few of these horses. Constant Flight was always going to get a lovely run. Male Escort, I thought, would just be in the right spot just behind him. Now, I'm not saying Carl did the wrong thing, but because the horse is one that can really pull, and it's not a horse that he can actually give it a dig out of the barriers and get it there, because if he did do that, it all of a sudden it'd over race. So he had to be careful of it, and a lot of the horses inside of him kept on kicking up, and he had to drag it back, and he got back to second last or something like that, or third last on the corner, and was pushed wide on the turn, and it was lucky enough to get up for third. So we were on it each way, thank God, and it looked terrible the whole way around. If you were on Constant Flight, you were just curling the mow most of the way. It was always going to be the case that it was going to be up there, but as you can see, we couldn't actually get it there. But it's mainly because of the market, how much shorter we had Constant Flight. If I made it Male Escort, if I make Male Escort where it actually was on the map, it's a $6 shot, and it firms up a lot of these other horses, sort of thing. So we were still wrong on Constant Flight. It's gone better than we thought it could go. What else? All Important, nothing much. Exo Dream, we were totally against it. I didn't think it could win. It run out. I don't think it got. Oh no. Where's Exo Dream? Exo Dream. I think it might have run 4th or 5th from memory. Exo Dream, yeah, run 5th. So we were totally against. That was one of the horses we were keen to bet against. But we were keen to bet against Constant Flight too. So, away from Male Escort, there wasn't a lot of horses that we wanted to back. So I thought the Male Escort each way was perfect. I think if he was able to get into the position that we had it in, it would have won for sure. So, but it was just a matter of, I just didn't think about that Carl couldn't push out in this thing, so he just got back. That's about all. I think we just lost on the day, and it was disappointing because we charged into Scalapini and we had a nice little lead and bled it all back, so it wasn't all that good. Anyway, that's about all from me. We'll be back next week. We got, I think Happy Valley on Wednesday. I'm just going to have a check about that. So it'll be the first day for Happy Valley. We didn't go too bad at Chartin on Sunday. We had a winner or two, a couple of seconds, which made a big difference, but a few horses we laid up there, and they were short odds. We finished up getting something out of them on Betfair, so that was really good. Anyway, that's all for me, and we'll see you next week. Go and tune in for Q&A on Saturday morning. Just come on our Facebook page or Twitter. You'll see a few questions there to say, ask whatever you like on the Queensland races or Queensland horses, and we'll answer them as truthfully as we can. Even though we're tipping them or whatever, well, I'll be telling you whether I think they can win or not. All right, cheers guys. Thanks.